My body's undulating back and forth, but it's too late. And there's no cure and no sedating all this pain we're generating, this prolonged, insane, grotesque thing that we wrongly have been naming love. Honey, this ain't love, no. Something like that. The whole album is about the fact that there is no one true moment of change that brings an understanding of self. It's just this nebula of change, and it's almost like quantum physics. You can never just pinpoint where the particle is. It's always coexisting. It's a multiplicity. It's difficult to explain, and that's the whole point. The point is that the Anagnorisis is that there's no one point and there's no one self. It's just a mash of existence. This idea of no identity, I think, translates a lot in the music that I make. I mean, the fact that I don't see genres of music as a must. Like, I don't really quantify music that way. It's just you pick up what you need in order to portray an emotion. And that to me is the biggest lesson or prize that I got from traveling so much, is to not be confined to a label. My biggest investment was to buy a property here in Italy and make kind of a studio, a working place for me. So it's a beautiful piece of land in San Bartolo, and there's so much quiet there that I'm not used to it. I grew up in cities, and this being with myself, this quiet, this solitude that I had here really let me experience a different version of myself. And the whole album is about that version of self. I love nature. I mean, I ride horses and I have a lot of animals. I plant things in the ground and I see them grow. And I wouldn't say that I'm making music by doing that, but I would say that this part is an integral part of who I am as a human, and I think it seeps into my music whether I like it or not. So we started this process before the pandemic, and then everything happened and I got stuck in Italy. And because I had cancer in the past, so I had chemotherapy, so I'm considered in high risk. So we kind of worked, kind of like how people now use Zoom to make meetings. We kind of did that with another digital interface that let us hear each other almost live, just with a tiny latency. And we continued working on the album like that. And I have to say, it was so powerful to understand, to have the time. Usually when you get into a studio, everything has to be quick because you have, 10 days, 20 days, whatever. And here I was evolving because of this necessity, and it was really interesting. I think the story is the need of self-definition, the need to find out who I am with the knowledge that it's an impossible task, the knowledge that you will never understand who you are because you're constantly changing, you're constantly multiplying to different parts. And I don't consider myself a pop artist. When I write songs, I don't really care. I don't think about where it's going. I'm really looking inward and making the album that I want. And then when I'm on stage, anybody that sees me on stage realizes very quick that it doesn't matter if it's 2 people in front of me or 30,000 people. I'm going through a process. I need to, let out these series of emotions, feelings, pain and fear and hope and hopelessness. Incredibly incredibly so. We met in his house in Brooklyn. We had this conversation about the wolf that tried to eat me, and he wrote this short story about it. This short story about me, but really about him, because we always just steal each other's experiences to make it about ourselves. I never had this, another artist that I kind of play around with like that we steal from each other in that sense. So I decided to put this short story inside the album, so when the album comes out, this story will be in there. I really can't believe that I know this person, because it affects me in such a direct way. It's that thing where you read something and you're like, fuck, I wished I would have written that. That's exactly. And there's very few artists that I read that give me this feeling that, oh my God, these are my thoughts, these are my feelings. He influences me through the person he is, but through the filters of his art. That's how I would say it. And I think it's the same vice versa. Lucio Battisto, see, with the hair. I love him. He has an amazing voice, and I really like the style. But yeah, I kind of think I like more like 60s, 70s Italian music, which is not surprising because I like 60s, 70s music also from America or the UK or whatever. I don't know contemporary Italian music, and I don't say that, I know it's wrong of me, but to my defense, I don't really know contemporary music from anywhere. I'm sorry. I have an Italian girlfriend, and I blame her. It's all her fault. She needs to introduce me to more music. Un saluto a tutti i lettori di Fanpage. Ciao ragazzi!